Today on People Now, visionary physicist Stephen Hawking has died. Tributes pouring in from around the globe.
There's speech therapy, there's physical therapy. It's an enormous undertaking.
Comedian Jim Gaffigan opens up about his wife's healing process after brain surgery.
The outrage over the death of a puppy in an overhead bin on a United Airlines flight is growing this morning.
And the season finale of This Is Us still has our hearts feeling warm. We'll discuss it in case you missed it.
Meghan Markle is this week's People cover story. What will she have to give up by becoming a royal?
Plus, today marks 1 month since the Parkland school shooting. The mother of one victim and a group of her surviving classmates are here speaking out for change.
It is all live today on People Now. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to People Now. Great to see you. It is March 14th. And you know what that obviously means. Happy National Pie Day,
yes,
everybody.
Okay, so the holiday might really be about the mathematical constant pi, but what better excuse to get our mouths watering than talking about our favorite kind of dessert pies? So pie with an E. We're taking some liberties.
Taking some great liberties. I think it's well worth it. We want
so
to know what you think. What are your favorite kinds of pies? It's our question of the day. You can tweet us at People using the hashtag PeopleNow. We'll get to your answer soon. Our mouths are going to be watering. We can't wait. First, we begin with this. Here's what you need to know and what's trending today.
What if I reverse time to see what happened at the beginning of time itself?
Wind back the clock.
Wind back the clock?
Keep going.
I don't know how.
Yet.
World-renowned British physicist Stephen Hawking passed away Wednesday at 76 years old. He was considered by many to be the world's greatest living scientist, and his life and work was honored in so many ways, including that 2014 acclaimed film, The Theory of Everything. Hawking consulted on the biodrama about his life and was played by actor Eddie Redmayne, who took home an Academy Award for his portrayal of the physicist. Eddie Redmayne remembers Hawking with a statement to People, reading, "We have lost a truly beautiful mind, an astonishing scientist, and the funniest man I have ever had the pleasure to meet. My love and thoughts are with his extraordinary family." Hawking's family, including his 3 children and first wife Jane, released a statement confirming Hawking's death, saying in part, "He was a great scientist and an extraordinary man whose work and legacy will live on for many years. His courage and persistence with his brilliance and humor inspired people across the world." Now, of course, Stephen Hawking will be remembered for his mind and his brilliant work as not only a physicist, but also a cosmologist, astronomer, mathematician, author of numerous books, including his bestseller, A Brief History of Time, and yes, a very funny man. Watch this.
I didn't do my scientific work in the hope of winning prizes and medals. I did it because I wanted to understand the universe. There's nothing like the thrill when you discover something no one knew before. It is like sex, but it lasts longer.
Hawking proving to the world that anything is possible. He suffered from ALS. It's a neurodegenerative disease. He was diagnosed at just 21 years old in 1963 and was given 2 years to live. As his condition worsened, Hawking gradually began to lose his ability to move and speak, leaving him paralyzed and wheelchair-bound. Despite his diagnosis, he continued his studies at Cambridge University and went on to change the subject of cosmology. He discovered that black holes leak energy and fade to nothing, a phenomenon that would later become known as Hawking radiation. Everyone was wowed by the British physicist, including Pope Francis, who met Hawking at the Vatican Science Conference in November 2016, where they spoke about the impact of scientific knowledge and technology on people and the planet. Hawking was also honored by President Obama in 2009, where he received the Medal of Freedom because he had overcome disability to push the boundaries of science. And Hawking even became a familiar figure in pop culture with a guest role on several episodes of The Simpsons. And of course, Hawking was referenced all the time in the hit CBS show The Big Bang Theory, a hero of Sheldon and that whole gang. He even made an appearance. Watch this.
I don't make arithmetic mistakes.
Are you saying I do?
Oh, no.
It's so funny that he was able to make his way around. He seems so fully self-aware in the midst of all of it and just such a brilliant person.
Yeah, and people are definitely remembering him today. The cast of The Big Bang Theory and so many more people are mourning the loss of Stephen Hawking. The show's official Twitter page posted this sweet tribute, writing, "In loving memory of Stephen Hawking, it was an honor to have him on The Big Bang Theory. Thank you for inspiring us and the world." And series star Mayim Bialik reposted the image, writing, "As we near Pi Day 314, I join the global community in mourning the loss of the greatest physicist physicist of our era. Stephen Hawking is free from the physical constraints of this earthly condition we all exist in, and he is soaring above us now, marveling at it all. I really love that. An American Idol judge, Katy Perry, expressed her condolences, tweeting, "There's a big black hole in my heart hours before Pi Day. Rest in peace, Stephen Hawking. See you in the next." Macaulay Culkin also seemed shocked by the news, but paid tribute to the late scientist, writing this, "I just heard about Stephen Hawking's passing. He was both a genius and my favorite Simpsons character. We'll miss you, buddy." Finally, NASA remembers Stephen Hawking as a renowned physicist and ambassador of science, adding his theories unlocked a universe of possibilities that we and the world are exploring.
So my wife is, granted, her 80% is, I've never had as much energy as her at 80%, but so she's a tank in some ways, but she's, there's an insane amount of doctor's appointments and, everything's good, but it's still, one of the vocal cords might work, like there's speech therapy, there's physical therapy. It's an enormous undertaking.
Comedian Jim Gaffigan there giving an update on his wife Jeannie's recovery from the brain surgery that she had in April 2017. The 51-year-old star is currently promoting his new film Chappaquiddick and was asked about his wife's condition during an interview. Now, even though it seems she still has a long way to go, Jim is clearly very optimistic that his wife is going to be back to herself in no time. He later called his wife a special breed, saying, quote, I love this, "This is a woman who delivered a baby in our apartment and then an hour later was asking if they wanted breakfast." Wishing his wife, of course, all the best in her ongoing recovery. And now onto this bizarre story and sad story. Catalina Robledo and her 11-year-old daughter Sophia are speaking out for the first time after their French bulldog, Coquito, died when he was placed in the overhead bin during a United flight from Houston to New York.
She's like, he died, Coquito, and he didn't wake up.
Catalina and Sophia say they were told by a flight attendant to put Coquito and his carrier in the overhead bin because it was blocking part of the aisle. And once the plane landed after their 3-hour flight and they retrieved the bag, they discovered the puppy was dead. There are conflicting stories about whether the flight attendant actually knew there was a dog inside. Catalina and Sophia claimed they insisted several times that there was a dog inside, and another passenger on the flight actually confirms their story, even saying the attendant assured them their dog would be safe in the overhead bin and that the dog barked multiple times while stowed away. However, another passenger gave a different account, saying the flight attendant seemed shocked to discover the dog inside the bag once the flight had landed. In response to all the allegations, United Airlines said in a statement to People, quote, "This was a tragic accident that should never have occurred, as pets should never be placed in the overhead bin. We assume full responsibility for this tragedy and express our deepest condolences to the family and are committed to supporting them. We are thoroughly investigating what occurred to prevent this from ever happening again." Well, the story has everyone talking, of course, and Twitter has erupted with reactions. One Twitter user writes, "This is outrageous and inexcusable. United's rules plainly state carriers must be on the floor under the seat in front of you and charge $125 each way for it. The employee needs to be fired and charged with animal cruelty. My heart breaks for this dog and his family." Shannon admitting, quote, "Am I the only one who would have gladly gone to jail for getting up mid-flight and getting that dog out of that overhead bin? And that employee better have been fired. Completely unacceptable." Kevin responding, giving his opinion, saying, quote, "Okay, I get all the hate for United Airlines, and it's well-deserved. However, what is also utterly disgusting is the amount of people on the plane who watched and listened to that poor dog die and did absolutely nothing to stop it." Wow, we'll keep you posted on that on People.com, so stay tuned. Moving on to this. Meghan Markle is our People cover story this week. She is marrying Prince Harry. You may have heard. It's happening in less than 2 months. We're going in depth on how the bride-to-be is preparing for her new life in the palace and how she is already changing the royal family. You can stay tuned for that in just a little bit.
Yeah, all right, you guys, let's check in on our question of the day. It is 3/14, aka National Pie Day. So in honor of this very special holiday, we want to know, what's your favorite kind of pie?
P-I-E.
Pie with an E.
Yeah, so what's yours?
I would say that mine is probably apple pie. I don't know, is that basic?
It's basic, but it's good.
I think apple pie is like a nice classic go-to.
I like cherry pie, just cherries. I'm gonna say cold or hot. Beth says banana cream pie.
Okay.
I am not a fan of
You're
that,
not a
but
fan.
you go and do you, Beth.
I think it's fine. Okay, also you guys, the big breakup news.
Oh.
So Gigi Hadid and Zayn Malik, it is over after more than 2 years of dating. Jeremy's very upset.
No one's
about
more
this.
upset than I am. I might be more upset than they are about this
I
whole
think
thing.
you might be.
I thought the pillow talk was enough to keep them together.
No, I think that if you look at that video, there are clues that it might be already on the rocks.
I thought the clues were like, this is hot and steamy and they're
I
staying
don't
together.
know.
All right, anyway, so both Gigi and Zayn released individual statements. There's one of Gigi's statement, there's Zayn's. They're sharing their appreciation for each other. Fans also reacting to that breakup news on Twitter. Beth says, banana, oh, no, that's something else. Here we go. That was the pie. Ben says, feel sorry for Gigi and Zayn, but let's be honest, they both got crazy busy schedules. The relationship was only going in one direction.
We see what you did there.
Unintended.
Me, Mom, Gigi and Zayn broke up. My mom, okay, so is he calling you now? She really didn't have to do that.
A lot of people were saying, like, wait, this means they're both single?
Yeah, upset about Stephen Hawking, the dog on the United flight, and Gigi and Zayn's breakup all at the same time, which I feel says a lot about who I am.
But you're a person with a broad spectrum of
Yes.
feels. There you go. All right, guys, keep the comments coming in. We'll check in with you again first. But first, Andrea, you have trending news for us.
Yes, Jeremy, we are kicking off Star Trek today with some lovely new music. There is no confusing the fact that Meghan Trainor is happy and in love. The singer opened up to People about how her new fiancé, Spy Kid star Daryl Sabara, inspired her newest album. She says, quote, he's singing on every song. He was with me every day in the studio. Very cute. Trainor had to work extra hard on including other songs on the album because love songs were, quote, just easy for me. The singer's father even chimed in about how much of the album was about Daryl, telling Meghan, quote, there's too many love songs. Of course, when you're as happy as she is, it would be hard not to have your album full of love songs. Sabara proposed to Trainor after a year and a half of dating on December 21st, one day before her 24th birthday. And while she hasn't officially started planning the wedding yet, her manager has assured her that it is indeed in the schedule. Well, that's good. Trainor also gave People an update on her health after undergoing a second surgery for a vocal cord hemorrhage last year. The No Excuses singer revealed that she has stopped drinking in order to save her vocal cords. Meghan has also started drinking a lot more water, eating healthier, and working out more. Well, we couldn't be happier for Trainor. Can't wait to hear the rest of her album. All right, guys, we are tracking the This Is Us stars after Tuesday night's crazy finale. Katobi's wedding, Jack is an old man, cliffhanging flash forwards. The season 2 climax was filled with the most OMG moments, and the cast was right there with us for the ride, so let's break it down. Now, fans could not get enough of the old Jack Pearson. Look at this. Throughout the episode, Kate imagined her father as an older man for his 40th wedding anniversary with Rebecca. And I think Chrissy Metz perfectly captured how we were all feeling during those scenes, tweeting, I literally can't take it. Co-star Susan Kelechi Watson seemed to agree, adding, seeing Jack like this warms my heart. I wish Beth got to meet him. They would have loved each other. Well, we think so too, Susan. And of course, fans cannot help but grab those tissues. One viewer noting it was impossible not to cry after seeing Jack's older and wiser self. We feel you, girl. Those writers do not play fair. Another big moment was, of course, Kate's wedding. The aspiring singer went through a lot this episode and was finally able to let go of her father's tragic passing just hours before the ceremony. Actress Chrissy Metz showed off her Jack Pearson-inspired nails from the cozy ceremony. We can't even deal. Super adorable. The initials, that something blue hue, are hearts. And Mandy Moore gave a sweet shout out to her TV kids, writing how Kevin and Randall's wedding planning was top-notch for our Kate girl. The Pearson bros really went above and beyond for their sis, and their sweet speeches pretty much left us all wanting more. All right, now on to the cliffhangers. Oh, This Is Us. Why do you do this? It's not fair. In the final minutes of the finale, fans scrambled to uncover the meaning behind all those flash forwards. Is Toby's depression back? Why are Kevin and Beth's younger cousin Zoe, why is she on a flight to Vietnam?
So many questions.
I know, and why are Randall and Tess at the hospital? The pair, 2 decades into the future, reluctantly prepared to see her, leaving fans wondering who the female subject could be. Viewers were quick to think it might be Beth. One user writing, if Beth dies, I will burn this place to the ground. I will too. Another adding, I refuse to accept Beth died in those flash forwards. Nope. Same. We do not accept it. Guess we'll have to wait and see until next season's premiere. Already counting down the days. And those are your Star Treks for today.
All right, guys, stay with us. We are live with Lori Alhadeff, whose 14-year-old daughter, Alissa, was killed during last month's deadly school shooting in Parkland, Florida. She'll be sitting down with us and 6 of Alyssa's fellow classmates. They will be sharing their story and the message for the future. That is all coming up in just a bit.
Well, barely 5 months ago, Meghan Markle was on the Toronto set of the USA drama Suits, reading lines in her role as paralegal Rachel Zane. Ah, the memories.
Yes, the memories. Now, this week's issue of People is going inside Meghan's royal fairy tale. She's getting a crash course to her new life by Palace insiders.
Yeah, and according to them, the former actress is apparently a quick study in the peculiar world of royal protocol.
So, guys, here are just some of the things Meghan can no longer do as a royal. She can't maintain her own Instagram account. She can't accept free designer clothes. Even giving autographs is now off the table, which, let's be honest, for me would be the hardest.
A lot of changes here, but we can tell she's doing well. I mean, we've already seen her doing the perfect Windsor wave and the Duchess slant. Now, for the wave, you have to keep your hand flat, your fingers closed, and master what insiders call a mild motion, so you can't be too excited.
Yeah, keep it sort of muted. The Duchess slant is named for Kate, who has made it her signature to sit with ankles crossed, knees together, and legs tilted, but you guys know.
Plus, Meghan's curtsy is already on point. Some of what she's learning is just cultural, according to etiquette experts. All this stuff would have already been known by Kate Middleton since she grew up in the UK. But Meghan has a leg up on Kate in a different way. She's already used to the red carpet way of life.
Yeah, that's definitely true. We've seen Meghan out and about a lot lately, and it's obvious how much she really connects with the public and the camera. She's used to that scene.
Yeah, but according to a Palace source, Meghan is doing a lot behind the scenes too. A Palace source says this: Meghan has been regularly making private visits to organizations as she gets to know the UK charity sector. She's on a very busy schedule behind the scenes. She has her wedding preparation and is meeting a number of people all the time, from Harry's charities, staff at the household, and the Royal Foundation, which oversees the charity work done by William, Harry, Kate, and Meghan.
And in case we were all wondering what's keeping Meghan grounded these days as she goes through this whole whirlwind, well, according to sources close to her, her mom has a lot to do with that.
I love to hear that. Yeah, insiders are even likening Meghan's relationship with her mom, Doria, to Kate's relationship with her mom, Carol.
Yeah, I love this because we really haven't heard that much about Meghan's personal relationships up until now, and one insider says that Meghan speaks to her mom all the time. Doria is scheduled to visit her soon before that wedding in May.
Yeah, I would imagine you'd need a lot of support if your life was about to change this much, so it's really good to hear.
Yeah, and speaking of that wedding, this week's issue also takes a look at Meghan's style throughout the years and speculates about what kind of tiara she could wear for the big day.
Yeah, we want to know. So maybe she'll go for a floral wreath a la Queen Victoria, who was married in 1840, wearing one with a long veil attached.
Or the Strathmore Rose. It's a headband-inspired tiara with a floral motif worn at the Queen Mother's wedding in 1923. You guys remember this? Queen Elizabeth II's mom.
Or it could be the classic Cambridge Lover's Knot tiara, a gift from Queen Elizabeth to Princess Diana. Here's Diana wearing it in 1985. Now it's very timeless.
Wow, amazing. Okay, so this last one seems unlikely, but maybe the Cartier Halo. Kate borrowed it from the Queen for her 2011 wedding to Prince William. It's only been 7 years since Kate wore it, but hey, it's never a bad time for diamonds like that, right?
Really never a bad time. All right, guys, moving on to this. Model Lauren Wasser opens up in this week's issue of People about surviving a terrifying bout with toxic shock syndrome and her decision to amputate her left leg.
Yeah, Wasser was only 24 years old in late 2012 when she suddenly came down with a barrage of life-threatening symptoms.
Yeah, thankfully, the right doctor was able to identify the issue, and it probably saved her life.
The doctors and nurses were frantic as to what was going on. Thank God there was an infectious disease doctor on call. He had said, does she have a tampon? They removed the tampon, they sent it to the lab, and it came back as TSS1. And once they were able to diagnose me, I was able to be more receptive to the medicine that they were giving me.
Yeah, now Laura still was only given a 1% chance of survival. Wow, but by that point, she had already suffered a heart attack, failing organs, and was placed in a medically induced coma.
Yeah, when she finally woke up, she had excruciating pain in her legs and learned her right leg developed such a severe case of gangrene, she had to get it amputated.
Now, the toxic shock also caused severe damage to her left foot.
Well, after 5 years of unbearable pain, Lauren officially amputated her leg in January and explains why it was the right decision for her.
I wasn't able to live. I was just getting by. You know, I wasn't running. I wasn't able to go in the ocean. I wasn't able to just take a normal shower. There's just so many things that, you know, I think just in general as humans we take for granted. And I'm always reminded of that. And I just want to live. And so the decision was my happiness. The decision was, you know, thank God we're in a decade where prosthetics are so advanced and the capability is I'll be faster than a human being. And that's so exciting, and I just can't wait.
Lauren also said her decision was very future-focused since her 30th birthday is fast approaching.
Yeah, the model wants to be a mother one day and thought about being able to keep up with her future kids.
Yeah, now Lauren has come a long way. At one point, she considered suicide, but with the help of girlfriend Jennifer Lopez, she's decided she wants to speak out about her experience.
Now Lauren is using her platform to raise awareness about toxic shock syndrome.
Yeah, and women commonly associate TSS with leaving tampons in for too long, but Lauren says it's chemicals like chlorine, bleach, rayon, and more that are found in tampons that put women at risk.
She's working with New York Congresswoman Carolyn Maloney to pass a bill that would force tampon companies to be transparent about what they use in those products.
It's simple. It's just for us as women to know what's going on in these feminine hygiene products and what the long-term effects are 3, 5, 10 years from now, using them consistently. I think we should be able to know that and what's actually going in these products. I think it's only fair giving us an option. And I really hope a lot of women will wake up and read this bill that we've been trying to pass and speak up, because I think that's the only way, is we just keep fighting, but also knowing that, you know, there should be more info, more understanding, and we should have a choice.
Wow, she's been through so much. Glad to see that she's doing well.
I mean,
now.
it's amazing that we do have these capabilities, the prosthetics and everything. It's such an intense experience she went through.
Yeah, now she's speaking out. Hopefully some change will come in that way. And now we move on to this. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Erika Girardi, likes to break the rules, guys. The 46-year-old reality star is opening up about her life and career in this week's issue of People, revealing exactly how her fabulous alter ego, Erika Jane, came to be.
You know, there's only so many material things you can have before it becomes boring. You know, there's only so many dinners you can go to, so many lunches, so many things you can buy, and while I love all that and I think that's great, how was I challenging myself? I wasn't. I was hiding. I was complacent. I was in a you know, wealthy coma. And I wasn't, you know, looking inward, and I wasn't challenging myself, and I wasn't growing. And I thought, you know, what do I love to do? I love to create. I love to perform. Can I do it again? You know, I don't know. And then the opportunity came, and I just said, yeah, why not? And you have to be brave enough to do that. You have to be brave enough to say, you know what? I'm not fulfilled here. Let me get some more going on.
Wealthy coma, I like that.
Yeah, good for her. Lucky for us, because I'm pretty sure Erika Jane is everyone's spirit animal.
In one way or another.
Yeah.
All right, the Beverly Hills star also opened up about her 18-year marriage to wealthy powerhouse litigator Tom Girardi.
Yeah, 33 years his junior, Erika first met Tom while working as a cocktail waitress in LA.
All these years later, the singer says she's still attracted to her husband's intelligence and credits likability as the secret to their long-lasting marriage.
I think sometimes when you have a failed marriage before, you look at the second time around and you go, okay, wait a second, what's really important here? And what was important to me was my relationship with Tom and my support of him in his career, because he was who he was. He wasn't going to change. He was a grown man. Erika wasn't going to come in and be like, we're not, you know, doing that, and, you know, you're not going out. There's none of that. So it really was two people that had kind of come together. We really like each other, and we really enjoy each other's company. And I think that that's, you know, what you see 18 years later.
This is Jennifer Lawrence in People. This is Jennifer photobombing Taylor Swift and Sarah Jessica Parker and Liam Hemsworth, proving that while we all love the fashion of the red carpet, it's people who steal the show. People. The details make the story.
I just spent the last 2 hours putting the burial arrangements for my daughter's funeral, who's 14. President Trump, please do something. Do something. Action! We need it now. These kids need safety now.
Very powerful video. That was L'Oreal Hadef, whose 14-year-old daughter Alissa was killed in the Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School shooting in February. Today marks 1 month since that shooting.
Yeah, we are joined this morning by Lori and 6 of Alissa's classmates, Allie, Abby, Alexa, Madison, Nicole, and Raquel. Thank you so much for being here.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Now, Laura, you made a lot of headlines after that very passionate plea. First of all, I have to ask, how are you doing today, and what has the response been like since that first aired?
I'm in a survival mode, but the response has been tremendous. The outpour of love and support from my community of Parkland and from everybody in the whole country and from around the world it's been incredible.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, today marks 1 month since that happened. It's probably hard to wrap your minds around that. It's been such a whirlwind for you, I'm sure, since that happened. Has there been anything in particular for any of you that has helped you sort of cope thus far and kind of begin to move forward? Anyone? Any of you?
For me, it would be like being with my friends, because like when I'm with my friends, it feels like they're like here for you and you could talk to them.
Yeah. Very important. We're obviously so sorry for your loss and all that you guys have had to go through. Obviously, also, sorry isn't enough. We want action. I think everyone is in solidarity with you because we want change to happen. You guys are, Laura, you're specifically calling for better school safety. What exactly do you want to happen?
So I've started a nonprofit organization called Make Schools Safe Incorporated, and we are looking to make the model school at Westglades Middle School in Parkland, Florida, so everybody from the rest of the country can look at that school and be able to emulate how to make the safest school.
Yeah, now, Allie, you also directly called out the president when you read one of your poems on CNN, so let's watch a little of that.
My friends have died, they are gone from our lives, yet you sit there twiddling your thumbs. My friends have died, the life gone from their eyes, yet you sit there talking anything but guns. My friends have died, and we've cried and cried, yet you sit there blaming the mentally ill. My friends have died, our voices pushed aside, yet you sit there still.
Now, really powerful. Thank you so much for writing that and sharing it with everybody. Why was it so important to you to share that publicly?
I felt that it was important to just express how I was feeling personally and how I felt that this should be approached, because it's happened way too many times and something needs to change.
Yeah, your voice and many voices are being heard, we hope, and it feels like movement is happening. Just this weekend, it was announced that the Trump administration is taking steps towards school safety. Here's some of the things that were mentioned: firearms training for school personnel, better background checks for gun purchases, creating violence prevention programs in schools, reform of mental health programs. President Trump is establishing a federal commission on school safety for school violence prevention. Lori, do these moves make you feel confident that change is happening? How do you react to the things that are being talked about?
So, number one, we feel that teachers should not have guns. We feel that is the job of our law enforcement. And we feel that we can call on our retired police and our retired military and ask them to volunteer their time in our schools to help make that safe. But we do feel that these are changes in the right direction, and we hope for continued change.
Your voices now are joining with so many of your classmates. We've seen people like Emma Gonzalez and many others, as well as you now, speaking out on national television, leading this conversation that is seemingly making more progress than maybe has been made in this particular area before. What does it mean to you to suddenly look around and say, oh my goodness, my classmates and I are now at the forefront of a big movement and people are listening? What does that feel like?
I feel really proud to go to Parkland School, especially Marjory Stoneman Douglas, because no one wants this to happen again, obviously, so everyone's trying to make a change, and I think it's really important that we keep speaking out and get our mission across, because if we don't, then this could happen again, and it should never happen again. So.
Yeah, it's been said you guys want to be the last mass school shooting survivors in history. What is it about your generation that's going to get the job done?
I think it's our future, and we are trying to keep ourselves safe and all the future generations, and now we're the voice, and we know that we have to be the ones to make the change, because others haven't.
Lori, why do you think now is the time for change, and why do you think it's actually going to happen now?
My daughter Alissa Law was shot 10 times. I do not want any other parent to ever have to go through that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine what you're going through. It's really hard to imagine, and also school is back in session. So for you guys, what is that like being back there? I mean, what's that atmosphere like in the hallways?
It's crazy seeing everybody again, having to pass the freshman building every day, seeing where we used to go in, and I'm just a freshman, but I made so many memories in that building, and every time we walk by, it's a reminder of what happened. but it's fenced off and there's banners around it, and it's awesome to see the support from all the other schools and from our community and everyone around the world.
Yeah, I would hope that those physical signs of support would help sort of that transition back in and moving forward. Lori, you've talked about some of the ways that you are keeping Alissa close in the weeks since her passing, that you're leaving her room just as it was, that you're wearing her Converse and favorite sweatshirt. You've established that nonprofit that's inspired by her. Tell us about that, how much that means to you, and how much, even more than that, how much keeping her and her legacy now alive means to you.
I don't want to ever forget anything about Alissa, so it's very important for me to learn about all her friendships, all her experiences, and I want to know everything to keep her memory alive.
And you have a really sweet story about feeling her presence. There was a butterfly, this story that happened recently. What happened with that?
So my husband and I were at Alissa's grave site, crouched down, and we just looked up and there was a big, beautiful yellow butterfly that flew right past us. And it was a kiss from heaven, and also knowing that Alissa was at peace.
Yeah, I'm sure signs like that are things that you really cling to in a moment. I said that, or heard that you said that you even interpreted one thing as almost as if a joke was being played on your husband. Tell us about that and what happened.
So my husband was wearing his kippah on his head, and literally 5 times the kippah went flying off his head. And when I got into the car, I said to him, you know, that was Alissa playing with you.
And Abby, we know you were really close with Alissa. What is one thing that you want us to know and remember about her?
Alissa was a leader and a hard worker because she was in really hard classes, and she did debate, track, and she was on 2 soccer teams. And we had a really close bond.
Yeah, you guys are all wearing shirts that commemorate her with the number, as if it's a number 8, that was her number. And also, if you turn, as you mentioned, Lori, an infinity sign. What does she mean to the rest of you? What's one thing that you would want everyone to remember about Alissa?
Alissa was a leader and captain of our soccer team, and everyone looked up to her, and she was just so funny on the field and off. And like, I remember one time we were on the field, and when she couldn't get past like a hard player and she's like pushing her around, she would look at in back of her, and she would look at me and say, Maddie, you know what you gotta do, and we always laughed after that.
How about for you?
I think that the best part about Alissa was that she could do it all and still like make everyone feel included. And like what I mean by that is that she could go to soccer practice and she was a leader there and she excelled there and made everyone feel included. And then she'd go to school and do debate and get great grades in all of her classes, and she took like honor courses. And I just think that even while doing all that, she had a great social life. She made everyone feel included. She made friends, and I just thought that she was funny, and everyone knew Alissa's smile.
Alissa was so entertaining. She never, she never failed to make us laugh. She would come in and practice her script in my debate class, or she was just so funny, and she always let us have a good time with her.
My younger sister is actually on her soccer team, and I would watch her play every single game and sit on the sidelines and talk with Lori and joke around every time. And I watched her develop as a player for the years that she played on the team.
One of the things I would remember is that everyone I ever talked to said she was the sweetest person, and no one had anything bad to say about her, and everyone loved her, and there was just nothing that anyone could say about her.
She's obviously a very special girl, and now she was a beloved soccer captain, as you all said. The U.S. women's soccer team actually reached out to you guys. They wanted to include her on one of their big games. Her picture was on the Jumbotron, her name's on the jerseys. What do you think Alissa would have said if she could have seen all of that?
Wow, this is for me?
Yeah.
She would have said that. She would have just been blown away and so excited to meet the women national soccer players, the gladiators of women's soccer, Alex Morgan, and Carly Lloyd, just incredible.
Yeah, I guess Lori, seeing your daughter in that way, and that kind of attention and recognition, what did that moment mean to you?
No words can say. It was just, it touched our hearts, and it's helping with the healing process for me and also for the girls too, and everybody in Parkland.
So the Stoneman Douglas students have helped organize the March for Our Lives. It's set for March 24th in D.C. and then cities all across the country. Are you planning to head to D.C. to attend that? What are your plans?
I definitely plan on going, and I know that for the people that can't, we're supporting the one that's happening in Parkland. And there's one happening, at least one, in every state. So go out, support. We need it, and it's really important to show. A
true nationwide movement there. Also today, there's a national walkout. Students are planning to walk out at 10 a.m. from schools all across the country and showing support and solidarity for what's happened and try to bring about change. What's your message for students who might be stepping out today?
I would have to say, let your voice be your power. Question your teachers. Ask them where the safe zones are in your classroom. Parents, ask the administrator what the code red specifics are and how specifically we are going to make our schools safe.
Yeah, the long-term goal of the march and the walkout is to stop the epidemic of mass school shootings. But in the next couple weeks and months, what are your short-term goals you think will eventually, hopefully, accomplish the long-term goal?
So the Alissa Law was just made into law in New Jersey a couple days ago. And I think that everybody should take a look at that because it really talks about having panic buttons, and they can, from the teachers, can press a button on an app from their phone, and if there is an issue, and it will go right to the police. So the Alissa Law, I really think you should check it out. And also check out our website for my nonprofit organization at www.makeourschoolsafe.org.
Well, ladies, thank you so much for being here. It's incredible, your bravery, and we're so happy that you're able to use your voices to hopefully bring about change here. Guys, we're behind you, your campaign for change. We know you have a special symbol to honor Alissa, the heart. Can we all do it as we go to commercial? And really appreciate you guys being here.
This is Jennifer Lawrence in People. This is Jennifer photobombing Taylor Swift, and Sarah Jessica Parker, and Liam Hemsworth. This is Jared Leto in People, photobombing Anne Hathaway, and Reese sneaking one in on Sophia and Joe. This is Dustin Hoffman, photobombing the dame herself, Judi Dench, proving that while we all love the fashion of the red carpet, it's people who steal the show. People. The details make the story. Don't miss this week's People.
Guys, we have loved actor Peter Krause in iconic shows like Sports Night, 6 Feet Under, Parenthood, and The Catch. Now, he is back playing a firefighter in Fox's new drama 911. Peter revealed to us exactly how creator Ryan Murphy sold him on the show during their first meeting and the one source of criticism the show sometimes gets, but don't worry, it's all in good fun.
Ryan Murphy created a procedural unlike anybody's seen up to this point. And when he described it to me in our first meeting, he said it was going to be adrenalized and it was going to move. And he kept doing this with his fist. And we get some flack from firefighters once in a while.
Yeah?
Because, well, not everything's accurate. They enjoy the show, but I think they poke fun sometimes. But we have firefighter consultants on set, and they would show us how to do it. And then if the director or the writers felt like it should be done a certain way to tell the story, which was counter to that, that usually wins out.
All right, Peter couldn't give away too many details about the rest of season 1. It is a Ryan Murphy show after all, but he did give us a tiny little sneak peek. He says there are going to be some surprises and big moments, especially in the last 2 episodes. But the season finale, he says, it's hopeful, which is good news since the show has already been renewed for season 2. And guys, we are People Magazine, so we couldn't let Peter go without asking him what he thinks about his named doppelganger, at least in the way it's spelled pretty much, Peter Krause from The Bachelorette. There's been some confusion, especially when the names of the men vying for Rachel's heart were initially announced last year. But to this day, you can't do a Google search on one without finding out what the other is up to. So is Peter Krause aware of all this, and what does he think about it? The Bachelorette, I don't know if this is as big of a part of your life as it is ours.
It's not.
Okay.
I'm sorry to say.
Okay.
Or maybe I'm not sorry, but I do watch certain, I've watched The Amazing Race and things like that, but I've not been a
Is that like your guilty pleasure TV show?
That, and then it used to be, because it was on in the afternoon when I'd sometimes get off work, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh my goodness.
Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down.
Will Smith is a funny guy.
Yeah, sometimes this old life will leave you wishing that you had 5 more minutes.
This song was so personal to me that I didn't know other folks would react to it like they did, but every meet and greet now, every Facebook and Twitter that we put up, you know, we have people telling me what the song means to them and how it's affected them and gotten through tough times. A lot of military stuff, a lot of military families that have their sons or daughters or wives or husbands are overseas and haven't seen them for months, and they're just like, man, I just want 5 more minutes with them right now. And that's really special for me. Every country artist, we dream of having a #1 song.
Where were you when you found out, and how did you celebrate?
So I was in the mountains of North Carolina. I had just gotten back from LA. We were taping Family Feud. And as soon as we landed, we had to drive to the mountains. We were going to the wedding venue to kind of figure everything out. And that night, it was midnight that night that it was official, so I had some champagne ready, and we popped it over the balcony, and we're spraying it. It definitely was exciting, because we've been doing this 7 years now, and I've never had a #1.
Well, now you do, Scotty. 24-year-old Scotty McCreery is finally at the top with his hit 5 More Minutes. The tear-jerking single is one of 11 tracks off the country star's latest album, Seasons Change. The song, which is dedicated to McCreery's late grandfather, exposes viewers to the singer's more vulnerable side, and he could not wait to share it with the world.
I think I was excited to talk about it because we've come out of a lot of those lows and we've come out on top and we're having fun now. So I was all about it. Some people might have been nervous to be so personal in the writing, but I was enjoying it. It's kind of almost therapy to write, songs about what you're going through, and it's therapy to put them out there so folks can hear it. I've been sitting on this music for almost 5 years now, so we've been writing and recording and getting all that ready. The live show, I think I'm most excited about because we've just been recycling songs in the live show, trying to figure out how to make it new, and now we actually have a whole album of material, so it's going to be fun on the road this year.
All right, let's check in on our question of the day one last time. It is National Pie Day today, so we've been asking, what is your favorite kind of pie?
National Pie, PI 3.14, and then on the numbers go.
We're saying PIE.
We're doing PIE because that's obviously more fun. One Twitter user says, I go for the classics, pumpkin and apple pie.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah. Another thing to note is that Stephen Hawking died on Pi Day, and so people are tweeting, they're remembering him today. This Twitter user says Stephen Hawking was #OldSchoolCool. He would pass away, of course, he would pass away on Pi Day.
People are making the connection. There you go. Look at this one. Rest in peace, Stephen Hawking. So it says, born January 8, 1942, on the 300th anniversary of Galileo's death. Died today, March 14th, the anniversary of Einstein's birth. Time is circular, no beginning, no end. There you go.
Wow,
people are making all kinds of
deep
connections here.
I know.
It's a thing. All right. Well, we are going to be asking you a question of the day tomorrow on People Now. Come back 8:30 a.m. Eastern. We'd love to see you again. And coming up tomorrow, This Is Us star John Huertas is here. He's breaking down all those OMG moments from that epic season 2 finale. Plus, Alicia Vikander opens up about swimming with a shark, jumping out of planes while filming the new Tomb Raider. It was crazy, and you don't want to miss it.
That's on my bucket list, swimming with sharks.
Mine is like behind a big old cage, like with lots of space.
Yeah, well, yeah, but still, to be swimming with sharks would be really cool. Anyway, thanks for watching. For now, we leave you with one last thing with Marriage Boot Camp stars Brandi Glanville and Renee Graziano. Have a good day.
Bye, guys.
Hi, I'm Brandi Glanville. And I'm Renee Graziano. And this is One Last Thing. The last TV show that I binge watched. Oh, it's NCIS. Oh. Yeah, I do. I have like the biggest crush on Mark Harmon in the whole entire world. All right. God. All right.
Obviously, Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Shamia, come on.
My last big splurge was Gucci tennis shoes. I had to get them.
My last splurge was a truck for my son. Last time I was starstruck. I am right now, Brandi. Oh my God.
Me too. But really, I think it was when Jennifer Lawrence even knew my name on Watch What Happens Live, and she said she liked me on the show, and I love her, so I woke up my kids so that they could see that.
Denzel Washington.
Yeah, he's
just
hot.
so handsome.